There's been some questioning this morning about that low turnout, about whether there's enough enthusiasm for this iteration of the Labour Party. Clearly, under the previous leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, a very controversial person, but clearly amongst a set of people in this country, inspired a huge amount of enthusiasm. Keir Starmer seems to be running a much more muted sort of leadership, inoffensive to just about everyone, but there is a worry amongst some that that inoffensiveness leads to apathy.
By-elections often, as you said previously, often have very low turnouts. I think there is a complete consensus within the Labour Party that the best Labour leader we had was Clem Attlee, who was notoriously quiet and non-charismatic. I think the people of this country don't want a showman, they don't want the razzle-dazzle. They want somebody who they believe will get the priorities that this country need correctly and will do a decent job. And I think Keir Starmer, there's some way to go, but I think he's slowly and steadily convincing people that he is the right person to lead this country after the next general election.
It's interesting, given the picture of the Labour Party that Sir Keir Starmer has been painting fairly successfully over the last year, expressing that the Labour Party has changed, is moving more towards the mainstream. I wonder how much that's reflected in the candidacy of Paulette Hamilton. Of course, GBNews earlier this week uncovered video from 2015 of the candidate speaking at an event titled The Ballot or the Bullet, which I believe we can roll a little clip of on our screens right now, just her speaking at this event, where she seems to mull over the possibility of the ballot or the bullet, saying she was torn between the two. Do you think she should apologise for those comments?
I think you would not be able to find a politician in this country who could defend everything they'd said over the previous 10, 20, 30 years. I certainly couldn't. In the middle of the debate, when you're focused on one particular issue, in that case, how you get more representations from underrepresented groups. Sometimes people don't choose their words as careful as they would do if they were in the middle of a by-election. Remember that our last speaker had worn a T-shirt which said, "Hang Nelson Mandela." So I am sure Paulette Hamilton comes from the mainstream of the Labour Party, and she will be a good Labour MP for Birmingham and for the whole of the country. I think you can find things that any politician, whether it's Boris Johnson's got a whole catalogue of things he is embarrassed about, which are brought up. People still chose him and the Conservative Party at the last general election to be the Prime Minister. People understand that sometimes politicians, when they're exploring ideas, say things that they're not going to stick with for the rest of their political lives.